ACT test 2, question 1. In the figure below, C is on segment BD, angle BAC measures 40 degrees, and angle ABC measures 110 degrees. What is the measure of angle ACD? According to the exterior angle theorem, the exterior angle is equal to the sum of two non-adjacent interior angles. So in our question, angle ACD should be equal to the measure of angle A and the measure of angle B. So the measure of ACD should be equal to the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B. And the angle A is 110 degrees and angle B is 40 degrees. So the measure of ACD should be equal to 150 degrees. So we should choose option E. Question 2. For what value of A is the equation 1/2 A plus 10 equals 6 true? So we just need to solve the equation. So 1/2 A equals 6 minus 10, which is -4. A equals -4 times the reciprocal, 2. And equals -8. So we should choose option J. Question 2. Question 3. What is the least common denominator of the fractions 4/15, 1/20, and 3/8? The least common denominator of the first two fractions is 5 times 3 times 4, which is 60. The next step, we need to find the least common denominator of 60 and 8. We get 4 times 15 times 2, which is 120. So we should choose option B, question 3. Question 4, the absolute value of 5 minus 3 minus the absolute value of 1 minus 6. So 5 minus 3 is 2, 1 minus 6 is -5. So it is equal to the absolute value of 2 minus the absolute value of -5. The absolute value of 2 is 2. The absolute value of -5 is 5. So 2 minus 5 is -3. So we should choose option G, question 4. Question 5. In the trapezoid below, segment AB is parallel to segment DC. What is the measure of angle C? Since segment AB and the segment DC are parallel, therefore angle B and the angle C, they are supplementary according to the theorem. If two lines are parallel, the consecutive interior angles are supplementary. So the measure of angle C plus the measure of angle B should be equal to 180 degrees. And the measure of angle B is 85. And so the measure of angle C should be equal to 180 degrees minus 85 degrees, which is 95 degrees. So we should choose option B. Question 6. Gao earns his regular pay of $12 per hour for up to 40 hours of work per week. For each hour over 40 hours of work per week, Gao is paid 1.5 times his regular pay. So 1.5 times the regular pay $12 is equal to 3/2 times 12, which is $18. So the rate of extra hours is $18. Continue. How much does Gao earn in a week in which he works 56 hours? So in 56 hours, the first 40 hours is regular pay. So 40 hours times $12 per hour plus the extra hours, which is 56 minus 40. So it is 16 hours. And the rate of extra hours is $18. So 16 times 18 plus the regular pay 40 times 12, which is 480. So 480 plus 16 times 18, which is 288. So the final answer is 768. So we should choose option H. Question 7. On the first day of school, Mrs. Dubecca gave her third grade students 6 new spelling words to learn. On each day of school after that, she gave students 3 new spelling words. How many new spelling words had she given the students by the end of 21st day of school? So the first day is 6 new spelling words. And after that, the 20 days, each day 3 new spelling words. So 6 plus 20 times 3, which is 60. So 60 plus 6 is 66. So we should choose option C. Question 8. What is the value of the expression 8 factorial divided by 4 factorial squared? So 8 factorial equals 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And 4 factorial equals 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 squared. Continue. The top is 4 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And the denominator is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times another set of 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And we divide out the common factor 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And the top 6 and the bottom 6 we divide out. And another one is 8 and 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. So the top becomes 2 times 7 times 5. And the denominator only 1. So 2 times 7 times 5 equals 70. So question 8, we should choose option J. Question 9. Right triangle ABC and its side lengths given in inches are shown below. What is sine B? Sine B equals the opposite side divided by hypotenuse. The opposite side of angle B is AC, which is equal to B. And then the hypotenuse is C, so sine B equals B over C. So we should choose option D. Question 10. 6a cubed minus 5ac squared plus 12c minus, in parentheses, 4c minus 3a cubed minus 2ac squared is equivalent to. So the first step, we simplify the expression. We get 6a squared minus 5ac squared plus 12c minus 4c plus 3a cubed and plus 2ac squared. Next step, combine the like terms, 6a cubed and 3a cubed. The second one is negative 5ac squared and 2ac squared. And the last one is 12c minus 4c. So 6a squared plus cubed. 6a cubed plus 3a cubed is 9a cubed. Negative 5ac squared plus 2ac squared is negative 3ac squared. 12c minus 4c is 8c. So we should choose option H. 9a cubed minus 3ac squared plus 8c. Question 11. Which of the following xy pairs is the solution for the system of equations x plus 2y equals 2 and negative x plus y equals 7? We call x plus 2y equals 2 the first equation. We call negative x plus y equals 7 the second equation. Then we add that two equations together, we get 0 plus 3y equals 9. So y equals 3. Since x plus 2y equals 2, so we substitute 3 for y. We get x plus 2 times 3 equals 2. So x plus 6 equals 2. So x equals negative 4. So we should choose negative 4 and 3, option A. Question 12. Team's flight was originally scheduled to depart at 4:51 p.m., but it was delayed 563 minutes. What time did the team's flight eventually depart? So the first step, we need to convert 563 minutes to hours, so divided by 60. We get 9 hours and 23 minutes. Then 4:51 p.m. plus 9 hours 23 minutes, we get 13 hours 74 minutes, which is 14 hours 14 minutes. And 14 hours 14 minutes means 2:14 a.m. So we should choose option H. Question 13. A circle with the equation x squared plus y squared equals 144 is graphed in the standard xy coordinate plane. At what points does the circle intersect the x-axis? So from the graph, we can tell the circle intersects with the x-axis at 2 points. One is A, one is B. And the equation x squared plus y squared equals 144 is the standard form of a circle. So we can read the radius directly from the equation, which is 12. So the coordinates of point A is 12 and 0, and the coordinates of point B is negative 12 and 0. So we should choose option B. Question 14. Given that x squared minus 5x minus 36 factors into two binomial factors with integer coefficients, which of the following binomials is one of those factors? So the first step, we need to factor the quadratic expressions. So the two numbers, one is 4, one is negative 9. 4 times negative 9 is negative 36, and 4 plus negative 9 is negative 5. So x squared minus 5x minus 36 is equal to x plus 4 times x minus 9. So question 14, we should choose option G, x minus 9. Two vectors are shown in the standard xy coordinate plane below. One of the following vectors in the standard xy coordinate plane is the sum of these two vectors. Which one? So from the graph, we can tell vector A and vector B, they are all position vectors. And vector A equals 1 and 4. Vector B equals 3 and 2. And the sum of vector A and the vector B should be equal to vector C, which is equal to 1 plus 3 is 4, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So vector C equals 4 and 6. So we should choose option E. Question 16. A square and a rectangle have the same area. The length of the rectangle is 196 centimeters, and the width of the rectangle is 4 centimeters. What is the length in centimeters of a side of the square? This is an equal area problem. So the area of the square equals the area of a rectangle. And the length of the rectangle is 196, and the width of the rectangle is 4. So the area of the rectangle equals 4 times 196. And if we use x to represent the length of the square, we have x squared equals 4 times 196. So x should be equal to the square root of 4 times 196. The square root of 4 equals 2. The square root of 196 equals 14. So the length of the square equals 28. So we should choose option G. Question 17. T-shirts are on sale for $10 each, including tax. Valentina has $N with which to purchase t-shirts. After she purchases the maximum number she can, Q t-shirts. She has R dollars left for all possible choices of D and N. Which of the following equations models a correct relationship between D, N, Q, and R as defined? So each shirt is D dollars, and the Q t-shirt is Q times D dollars, and she has R dollars remainder. So QD plus R should be equal to the total amount of money she has, which is N dollars. So we should choose option QD plus R, option D. N equals QD. Question 18. At a sandwich shop, customers can order either a meat or a vegetarian sandwich on either white or wheat bread. Out of a total of 50 customers, 20 ordered a sandwich on white bread, 28 ordered a meat sandwich, and 12 ordered a meat sandwich on white bread. The given information is summarized in the table below. How many customers ordered a vegetarian sandwich on wheat bread? So from the table, we can tell of the total 20 customers who chose white bread, 12 chose meat sandwich, which means 8 chose vegetarian sandwich. Of the total 50 customers, 28 chose meat sandwich, which means 22 chose vegetarian sandwich. Of the 22 customers who chose vegetarian sandwich, 8 chose white bread, which means 14 chose wheat bread. Our question is, how many customers ordered a vegetarian sandwich on wheat bread? So from table, we can tell 14 customers ordered a vegetarian sandwich on wheat bread. So we should choose option J. Question 19. A team of biologists tagged and released 90 deer in a forest. From the same forest, 2 weeks later, the biologists collected a random sample of 30 deer, 5 of which were tagged. Let P be the proportion of deer in this forest that are tagged. What is P hat, the sample proportion for this sample? So from the question, we can tell in the sample, every 30 deer, five were tagged. So we can expect in the whole forest, the proportion is the same. Every 30 deer, 5 of them were tagged. So 5 divided by 30, after we simplified, we get 1 divided by 6. So we should choose option C. Question 20. The square of 2 plus the square of 8 plus the square root of 18. So equals the square of 2 plus 8 equals 4 times 2. So the square of 8 equals the square root of 4 times square root of 2. Square root of 18 equals the square root of 9 times the square root of 2. And square root of 4 equals 2. Square root of 9 equals 3. So the equation is equal to the square root of 2 plus 2 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 2 equals 6 square root of 2. So we should choose option G. Question 21. Which of the following equalities is equivalent to 3 minus 2x greater than 7 minus x? The first step, move all the terms containing x to the left side and move all the constants to the right side. Then we have negative 2x plus x greater than 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. Negative 2x plus x is negative x. Therefore, x is less than negative 4. Don't forget to reverse the direction. So we should choose option C, question 21. Question 22, let A be the positive and B be negative. If it can be determined in which quadrant of the standard xy coordinate plane is the point negative a b squared located. Since a is greater than 0, negative a should be less than 0. Since b is less than 0, b squared is greater than 0. So the point negative a b squared should be located in quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, the x coordinate is negative and the y coordinate is positive. So we should choose option G. Question 23. The mass of a certain type of bacteria grows exponentially, doubling every 20 minutes. What was the mass in milligrams of the bacteria exactly 2 hours after the mass first reached 10 milligrams? So from the question, we can tell every 20 minutes, the mass of the bacteria doubles. So if we use m sub t to represent the terminal mass of a bacteria and use m sub o to represent the original amount of mass of the bacteria, we can have m sub t equals m sub o times 2 to the power of t divided by 20. And we use t to represent the time that has elapsed. So in our question, t equals 2 hours. So we need to convert 2 hours to minutes first. So 2 hours equals 2 times 60 equals 120 minutes. After we plug in all the given information, m sub t should be equal to 10 milligrams times 2 to the power of 120 divided by 20. So equals 10 times 2 to the power of 6, which is equal to 6 640 milligrams. So question 23, we should choose option D. Question 24. One day will be randomly selected from the 7 days in a week. Then 1 month will be randomly selected from the 12 months in a year. What is the probability that the selected day will be Tuesday and the selected month will be January? Question 24 requires us to find the probability of a compound event, which is comprised of 2 independent events in our question. One is select 1 day from 7 days, and one is select 1 month from 12 months. If we use P of A to represent the probability of first event, that selecting 1 day from 7 days, we use P of B to represent the probability of the second event, that selecting 1 month from 12 months. According to the multiplication rule, P of A and B should be equal to P of A times P of B. So P of A is 1/7. P of B is 1/12. So we get 1/84. So we should choose option F. Question 24. Question 25. The average weight of John, Jim, and Malik is exactly 160 pounds. The average weight of John, Jim, Malik, and Harry is exactly 150 pounds. How many pounds does Harry weigh? So the average of 3 people is 160 times 3 should be equal to the total pounds of 3 people, which is 480 pounds. And the average weight of 4 people is 150 pounds, times 4 should be equal to the total pounds of 4 people, which is 600 pounds. So if we use the total pounds of 4 people minus the total pounds of 3 people should be equal to the weight of the 4th people, Harry. So 600 minus 480 equals 120. So we should choose option B. Question 26. What is the value of the expression log base 6 of 36 times log base 3 of 9? So 36 equals 6 squared. 9 equals 3 squared. So the expression also equals log base 6 of 6 squared times log base 3 of 3 squared. So the first term is 2. The second term is 2. So 2 times 2 equals 4. So question 26, we should choose option H. Here we use a logarithm rule. Log base A of A equals 1. And another rule we used is log base A of B to the power of n should be equal to n times log base A of B. These are the 2 rules we used in question 26. Question 27. Each of 2 identical number cubes shown below has a different integer, 1 through 6, on each face. Consider the sample space determined by rolling these number cubes and adding the 2 integers on the faces that land on top. What is the positive difference between the greatest sum and the least sum in this sample space? From the picture, we can tell the greatest sum is 2, 6. And the least sum is 2, 1. So 6 times 6 is 6 plus 6 is 12. 1 plus 1 is 2. So 12 minus 2 is 10. So question 27, we should choose option B. Question 28. What angle measure in radians is equal to 30 degrees? To question 28, we can use a proportion to find the answer. The ratio of degrees should be equal to the ratio of radians. So 30 degrees divided by 180 degrees should be equal to x radius divided by pi radius. So x should be equal to 3 over 180 times pi, which is 1/6 pi. So question 28, we should choose option F. Question 29. For 1 school week, Hannah recorded the following temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit, so she could investigate the difference between the high and low temperature. To the nearest degree, what was the mean of the differences in daily high and low temperatures for these 5 days? So first, we list the 5 differences. The first one, 26 minus -3, which is 29 degrees. The second, 32 minus -5, 37 degrees. The third, 22 minus -7, 29 degrees. The fourth, 40 degrees minus 3 degrees is 37. The fifth, 40 degrees minus 2 is 38 degrees. So the mean of the 5 differences should be equal to the sum of the 5 differences divided by 5. So after we do the calculation, the answer is 34. So we should choose option E, question 29. Question 30. A family's budgeted items are expressed as a fraction of their weekly income in the chart below. What fractional part of their weekly income is left for unbudgeted items? So the fractional part for unbudgeted items should be equal to 1 minus all the fractions for budgeted items, which is 3 over 8, and 1/4, 1/8, 1/12, 1/16, and 1/24. Then we rewrite those fractions with the same denominator. The least common denominator is 48. So the expression equals 48 divided by 48 minus 18 over 48 minus 12 over 48 minus 6 over 48 minus 4 over 48 minus 3 over 48 and 2 over 48. Next step, subtract the numerators. So 48 minus 18 is 30. 30 minus 12 is 18. 18 minus 6 is 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. So the numerator is 3. Denominator is 48. After we simplify it, we get 1/16. So we should choose option J. Question 31. What is the 322nd digit after the decimal point in the repeating decimal 0.1357? So 1357 is a cycle. The period is 4. 322 divided by 4 is 80. So 80 cycles, and the remainder is 2. So we should count another 2 digits. So the first one, the second one. So the final answer is 3. Question 32. You and a friend each have a can full of water. You start pouring water from your can into an empty bucket at a constant rate of 4 ounces per second. While you are still pouring water, 3 seconds after you started, your friend starts pouring water from her can into the same bucket at a constant rate of 2 ounces per second. How many seconds after you first started pouring water into the bucket will it contain 24 ounces of water? So according to the given information, let's fill out the table on the right together. So the rate of you pouring water is 4 ounces per second. So the rate of you is 4. And the rate of your friend is 2 ounces per second. So the rate of her is 2. And the time you spend, if we use X to represent the time you spent, and the time your friend has spent should be equal to X minus 3. Because she started 3 seconds after you started. So the total amount of water you have poured should be equal to your rate times your time, which is 4x. And the total amount of water she has poured should be equal to 2 times x minus 3. So the total amount of water you and your friend have poured should be equal to 4x plus 2 times x minus 3. And the question is, how many seconds after you first started pouring water into the bucket will it contain 24 ounces of water? So the total amount of water is 24. So next step, we just need to solve the equation. So x equals 5. So question 32, we choose option G. Question 33. A package of candy contains pieces, each of which is one of 6 possible colors: brown, red, green, yellow, orange, and blue. In each package, 1/3 of the pieces are brown, and the remaining pieces have an even distribution of the other 5 colors. What is the probability that a piece drawn randomly from the package is red? From the illustration on the right, we can tell the whole package, 1/3 of them is brown. So 2/3 is other colors. From given information, the remaining pieces have an even distribution of the other 5 colors. So each color has 1/5 over 2/3. So the red 1/5 times 2/3. So green still 1/5 times 2/3. And the yellow 1/5 times 2/3. And the orange 1/5 times 2/3. So blue also 1/5 times 2/3. So the question, what is the probability that a piece drawn randomly from the package is right? From the illustration, we can tell the probability of right should be equal to 2/3 times 1/5, which is 2 over 15. So we should choose option B, question 33. Question 34. Which of the following intervals is the range of the function f of x equals negative x minus 3 squared plus 4? So after we observe the function, we can tell the function is in the vertex form, which means we can read the vertex of the parabola directly from the function. So the vertex is 3 and 4. After we graph the function in xy coordinate plane, we can tell the range of the function is less than or equal to 4. So y is less than or equal to 4. We should choose option G. Question 35. Anoki made a scale drawing of his rectangular classroom. The classroom is 7.5 meters by 9.0 meters. In his scale drawing, Anoki made the length of the shorter side of the classroom 9.0 centimeters. What is the length in centimeters of the longer side of the classroom in Anoki's scale drawing? We can find the length of the longer side of the classroom in his scale drawing by writing a proportion. So 7.5 over 9.0 equals 9.0 over L if we use L to represent the length of the longer side of the classroom in his scale drawing. The meaning behind the proportion is the ratio of width to length in reality should be equal to the width to length in his scale drawing. So after we solve the proportion, we get 7.L equals 9.0 times 9.0. So L should be equal to 81 divided by 7.5, which is 10.8. So question 35, we should choose option C. Question 36. In rhombus ABCD shown below, AC equals 5 feet and BD equals 6 feet. What is the area of ABCD in square feet? According to the formula, the area of a rhombus should be equal to 1/2 times the product of two diagonals. So 1/2 times AC times BD. And the length of AC is 5. The length of BD is 6. So the area should be equal to 1/2 times 5 times 6, which is 15. So we should choose option J, question 36. Question 37. One number is 25% of a second number, and the second number is 70% of the third number. So the first number is what percent of the third number if we use x to represent the third number? According to the given information, the second number is 70% of the third number. So the second number is 70% times x. And the first number is 25% of the second number. So the first number should be equal to 25% times the second number, which is 70% times x. The question is, the first number is what percent of the third number? So the percentage should be equal to the first number over the third number. And the first number is 25% times 70% x. The third number is x. We divide out the common factor x. We get the percentage should be equal to 25% times 70%, which is 17.5%. We should choose option A, 37. Question 38. The monthly rent charged for a store at Center Street Mall is $2 per square foot of floor area. The floor plan of a store at Center Street Mall is shown in the figure below, with right angles as indicated and all distances given in feet. How much monthly rent is charged for this store? So the first step, we need to find the area of the store. And the second step, to find the rent of the store by multiplying the area by rate. So let's do the first step. The area is comprised of a trapezoid and a rectangle. So the area of a trapezoid equals the sum of two bases, which is 33 plus 18 plus 30 plus 27 times the height of the trapezoid, which is 36 divided by 2. And the area of the rectangle is equal to the length times the width, which is 60 times 30. After we do the calculation, the area of trapezoid is 1,944. The area of the rectangle is 1,800. So the total area is 3,744 square feet. Step 2, to find the rent of the store. The rent should be equal to the rate times the area. The rate is $2 per square foot times the total area is 3,744 square feet, which is $7,488. So we should choose option K, question 38. Question 39. Mrs. Neeson, a science teacher, told her students that 30% of their final semester grades will come from their homework averages, and the remaining 70% will come from their test averages. She also said that the final exam will count for 20% of the test average. What percent of the science final semester grade is the final exam grade? So from the illustration on the right, the final grade, if we consider it as 1, 30% of their final semester grades will come from their homework averages. So the homework averages is 30%. And the remaining 70% will come from their test averages. So test averages is 70%. She also said that the final exam will account for 20% of the test average. So of the test average, 20% is final exam. So 20% times 70%, which is the test average, should be the percentage of final exam. So the percentage should be equal to 20% times 70%, which is 14%. We should choose option C. Question 39. Question 40. A rectangle with an area of 30 square inches has length and width in inches that are both integers. Which of the following cannot be the perimeter in inches of the rectangle? So the area is 30 square inches. The area of a rectangle equals the length times width. And since the length times width equals 30, and they are both integers, there would be 5 combinations. So the first one is length 30, width 1. And the second one is length 15, width 2. The third one is length 10, with 3. The last one, length is 6, width is 5. The perimeter of each rectangle is the first one 2 times length plus width, which is 31 times 2 is 62. The second one 15 plus 2 is 17. 17 times 2 is 33. The third one 10 plus 3 is 13 times 2 is 26. The fourth one 6 plus 5 is 11 times 2 is 22. So we should choose option J. 60 is not in our list. A couple is deciding between 2 condos to purchase. Some information about each condo is given below. The couple assumes that the market value of either condo will increase exponentially at a rate of 4% per year. Question 41. What is the positive difference in dollars of the 2 list prices? The difference is 210,000 minus 189,900 equals 20,100. If we write it in scientific notation, it is equal to 2.01 times 10 to the power of 4. Question 42. The couple will consider the price per square foot of each condo. Let X and Y be the price per square foot, rounded to the nearest $1, of condo X and condo Y, respectively. One of the following comparisons is true. Which one? The price per square foot of condo X, we can read it directly from the table above, which is 92. So X equals 92. And the price per square foot of condo Y should be equal to the price divided by the area. And the price is 189,900. And the area is 1,726. So divided by 1,726. After we do the calculation, Y equals 110. So X is 92, Y is 110. So we should choose option G. X is $18 less than Y, because Y minus X is 110 minus 92 is 18. Question 43. The annual property tax for condo X is 2% if it is assessed value. What is the assessed value of condo X? From the description, the annual property tax is equal to 2% times assessed value. Therefore, the assessed value should be equal to the annual property tax divided by 2%. And from the table, we can tell the annual property tax for condo X is 3,824. Divided by 2% is 191,200. So we should choose option D. Question 44. In the complex plane, consider the segment whose endpoints are the points corresponding to -6 plus 3i and 2 minus 7i. The midpoint of this segment corresponds to which of the following complex numbers? So on the right, I wrote down the midpoint formula. According to the formula, the midpoint of this segment, the is the x-coordinate equals -6 plus 2 divided by 2, which is -2. And the y-coordinate is 3 plus -7 divided by 2, which is -2. So the coordinates of the midpoint is -2, -2. So we should choose option H, question 44. Question 45. In the standard xy coordinate plane, the three lines with equations y equals 3/5 x minus 3, y equals -2/5 x plus 2, and x equals 0 bound a triangular region. What is the area in square coordinate units of that triangular region? So the first equation, the two intercept, one is -3, one is 5. When x equals 0, y equals -3. When y equals 0, x equals 5. So the 2 point, y is 0, -3. One is 5, 0. So I connected the 2 points, and we have our first line. I graph it in blue color. And the second, y equals -2/5 x plus 2. When x equals 0, y equals 2. When y equals 0, x equals 5. So the 2 points, one is 0, 2. The other one is 5, 0. Then connected the 2 points, we have our second line. I drew it in red color. So this is the second line, this is the first line. The third one, x equals 0. In fact, it is a y-axis. So this one, in green color, is the line x equals 0. So now we can find the triangular region bounded by the three lines is a triangle ABC. And the area of the triangular region is equal to 1/2 times the base times the height. After we observed the triangle ABC, the base we can use AC, and the height we can use BO. So the length of AC is 2 minus -3, and the length of BO is 5. So the area of the triangular region is 1/2 times 5 times 5 equals 12.5. So question 45, we should choose option D. Question 46. In square ABCD shown below, segment AC is a diagonal and the length of segment BC is 75 feet. Which of the following quantities is not a rational number? Since ABCD is a square, so angle BAC and angle BCA are all 45 degrees. So triangle ABC is a 45, 45, 90 degrees special right triangle. So the length of AC, or we say the length of hypotenuse, should be equal to the square root of 2 times as long as the 2 legs in that special right triangle. So in our question, AC should be equal to the square root of 2AB, also should be equal to square root of 2BC. Since BC is 75, therefore AC should be equal to 75 times the square root of 2 equals 75 square root of 2. So now we go to 5 options. The first one, the perimeter of ABCD in feet. The perimeter of square ABCD equals 4 times 75, which is 300. This is a rational number. Option G, the area of ABCD in square feet. The area of ABCD equals 75 squared, which is 5,625. It is a rational number. Option H, the length of line segment AB in feet. AB should be equal to BC, so it is 75, also a rational number. Option J, the length of line segment AC. Like we said, AC equals 75 square root of 2. So this is not a rational number. So question 46, we should choose option G. The last option K, the measure of angle CAD in degrees is 45 degrees. So this is also a rational number. Question 47. The volume of a solid object is equal to the volume of water it displaces when completely submerged in water. A solid object will be placed in a rectangular tank that has a base of 35 centimeters by 30 centimeters and is filled with water to a uniform depth of 13 centimeters. When the object is completely submerged, the new depth of the water in the tank is 15 centimeters. And what is the volume in cubic centimeters of the object? From the illustration on the right, we can tell before the object is submerged, the depth of water is 13 centimeters. And after the object is completely submerged, the depth becomes 15 centimeters. And the difference is 2 centimeters. So from the first sentence, the volume of a solid object is equal to the volume of water it displaces when completely submerged in water. From the first sentence, we can tell the volume of the solid should be equal to the terminal volume of the water minus the original volume of the water. So if we use V1 to represent the original volume of water, V2 to represent the terminal volume of water after the object is submerged, the volume of solid should be equal to V2 minus V1. Now we just need to find the value of V1 and V2. So V1 equals the area of base times H1. And V2 should be equal to the area of base times H2. So the base is 35 by 30 times the height 13 equals 13,650. And the V2 equals 35 times 30 times 15 equals 15,750. Therefore, the volume of solid should be equal to V2 minus V1 equals 15,750 minus 13,650 equals 2,100. So we should choose option E, question 47. The two circles graphed in the standard XY coordinate plane below are centered at the origin O. In coordinate units, the radius of the small circle is 2, and the radius of the larger circle is 4. Points A, -40, B, and C, 40 are on the larger circle. The measure of angle BOC is 45 degrees. In order, question 48, what is the x-coordinate of B? In order to find the x-coordinate of B, we need to construct a right triangle first. So from the point B, I draw a line perpendicular to x-axis and intersect x-axis at point F. So in order to see clearly, we can see the figure on the right. Since measure of MOC is 45 degrees, so right triangle BOF is a 45, 45, 90 degrees special triangle. And as we know, in that kind of triangle, the hypotenuse should be the square root of 2 times as long as 2 legs. Therefore, the length of OB should be equal to the square root of 2OF and the square root of 2BF. Since OB is the radius of the larger circle, which means the length of OB is 4. So 4 equals square root of 2OF equals square root of 2BF. Therefore, OF equals BF equals 4 divided by the square root of 2. So now we can have the coordinates of point B, which is 4 divided by square root 2 and 4 divided by square root 2. So question 48, we should choose option G. Question 49. A third circle not shown in is the image resulting from applying the first transformation listed below to the smaller circle and then applying the second transformation listed below to the result of the first transformation. So the first, a dilation with center O and a scale factor 2. Second, a translation of 8 coordinate units to the right. Question, the third circle has how many points in common with the larger circle? So let's see the graph on the right. So this is the first circle, which is a small circle with radius of 2. Now we begin our 2 transformations. So the first one, a dilation with center O and a scale factor 2. So the first, we dilate the small circle by scale factor of 2. Since the radius of a small circle is 2, so the second circle, the radius should be 4. So this is our second circle. The second transformation, a translation of 8 coordinate units to the right. So the next, we should move the big circle to the right 8 units. Since the radius of the second circle is 4, so we can tell after we move the second circle to the right 8 units, there only be 1 point in common. So question 49, we should choose option B. The third circle only has 1 point in common with the larger circle. So this is our third circle. Question 50, what is the area in square coordinate units of the region that is outside the smaller circle and inside the larger circle? So outside the smaller circle, but inside the larger circle is this part. So the shaded region. So question 50 require us to find the area of the shaded region. So after we observe the graph, we can tell the area of the shaded region should be equal to the area of the big circle minus the area of small circle, which is pi times 4 squared minus pi times 2 squared, is equal to 16 pi minus 4 pi equals 12 pi. So question 50, we should choose option G, 12 pi. Question 52, a sequence is given by S1 equals 4 and Sn plus 1 equals 2Sn minus 3 for n greater than or equal to 1. What is F5? When n equals 1, S2 2 should be equal to 2 times S1 minus 3 equals 2 times 4 minus 3 equals 5, since S1 equals 4. So 1n equals 2, S3 should be equal to 2 times S2 minus 3 equals S2 is 5. So 2 times 5 minus 3, which is 7. 1n equals 3, S4 equals 2 times S3 minus 3. And S3 is 7, so equals 2 times 7 minus 3. So 2 times 7 is 14. 14 minus 3 is 11. 1n equals 4, S5 should be equal to 2 times S4 minus 3. X4 is 11, so 2 times 11 is 22. 22 minus 3 is 19. So question 52, we should choose option J, 19. Question 53. In the figure below, the distance between two pairs of cities are shown, as well as the angle formed by union, which has a measure of 100 and 270 degrees, which of the following values is closest to the distance in miles from Dearborn to Fergus. So I use 3 letters D, E, F to represent the 3 places respectively. After we observe the triangle, we know we have the length of DE and the length of EF. We also know the angle of DEF. Therefore, we can use the cosine law to find the value of DF. So according to the cosine law, cosine angle E should be equal to DE squared plus EF squared minus DF squared divided by 2 times DE times EF. Then we just need to plug in the given information. Angle E is 127 degrees. So cosine 127 degrees should be equal to 80 squared plus 120 squared minus df squared divided by 2 times 8 times 120. Since cosine 127 degrees equals negative 0.6, so plug in negative 0.6, then solve the equation. We get the value of df equals 179.777. So it is about 180. So question 53, we should choose option D. Question 54, which of the following expression is equivalent to 1 over x minus a minus 1 over x plus a? So the first step, we need to rewrite the 2 fractions with the same denominator. After we observe the expression, we can tell the common denominator is x minus a times x plus a. So the first fraction becomes x plus a divided by x minus a times x plus a. And the second fraction becomes x minus a divided by x minus a times x plus a. Then the next step, we subtract the numerator. X plus a minus x plus a equals 2a. And after we simplify the numerator, we have x squared minus a squared. So question 54, we should choose option A, option F. Question 55, one of the following equations represent the ellipse shown below in the standard xy coordinate plane. Which one? From the graph, we can tell the center of the ellipse is O prime, and we also can tell the coordinates of the center is 2 and negative 3. After we observe the 4 vertices of the ellipse, We also can tell the semi-major axis is this part. We call it A. The length of the semi-major axis A equals 2 minus -3, which is 5. So the semi-major axis is 5. And the semi-minor axis here, after we observe the two vertices and the center, we can tell the B equals 2 minus -1 or 5 minus 2. So it's the same, always 3. So now we have A equals 5, B equals 3. And for an ellipse whose major axis is parallel to y-axis, it should be in the form of equation 1. It should be like this. And the center of the ellipse, we already know its coordinates, HK respectively equals 2 and -3. So after we plug in H equals 2 and K equals -3, we have our second equation, x minus 2 squared over b squared plus y plus 3 squared over a squared equals 1. And we already know A equals 5, B equals 3. So again, we plug in A equals 5 and B equals 3. We have our final equation. So x minus 2 squared over 3 squared, which is 9, plus y plus 3 squared over 5 squared, which is 25, equals 1. So this is the equation of the ellipse. So we should choose option, which one is the same as our equation? Option D. So question 55, we should choose option D. Question 56. One of the following equations is that of a parabola with x-intercepts -5 and 3/4 in the standard xy coordinate plane. Which equation? Since the question gave us the x-intercepts -5 and 3/4, so we can use the intercept form of a parabola to find the equation. So y equals a times x minus x1 times x minus x2. So x1 equals -5 and x2 equals 3/4. After we plug in -4 and 3/4, we have y equals a times x plus 5 times x minus 3/4. Then we simplify x plus 5 minus x minus 3/4. So x squared minus 3/4 x plus 5x minus 15 over 4. Then combine that terms, we get x squared plus 7 over 4x minus 15 over 4. After we observe the 5 options, we can realize that if we let a equal 4, our equation will become y equals 4x squared plus 17x minus 15, which is exactly the same as option J. So we should choose option J, question 56. Question 57, there are 100 fractions in the following set. Each fraction after the first is found by adding 3 to the preceding fractions numerator and denominator. What is the product of these 100 fractions? If we multiply the first 3 fractions, so we get 1/4 times 4/7 times 7 over 10. Then cancel out the common factor 4 and 7. So we find only the first numerator and the last denominator were left. So it is equals 1/10. If we multiply the first 4 fractions, we get 1/4 times 4/7 times 7/10 times 10/13. Still, we cancel out the common factors 4, 7, 10. Still, the first numerator and the last denominator were left. So it is equal to 1/13. Then I think we can expect that if we multiply the 100 fractions, still the same thing will happen. So cancel out the common factor 4, 7, 10, continue, 13, continue. After we cancel out all the common factors, we can expect still the first numerator and the last denominator will be left. So it should be equal to 1/301. So question 57, we should choose option E. Question 58. If 2 to the x equals 7 and 2 to the y equals 14, then x minus y equals what? So according to the quotient rule of the exponent, 2 to the x divided by 2 to the y should be equal to 2 to the power of x minus y. And 2 to the x equals 7. 2 to the y equals 14. So 7 divided by 14 is 1/2. Then we rewrite 1/2 as 2 to the power of -1. Therefore, xy should be equal to -1. So question 58, we should choose option H. Question 59, the table indicates the grade 10 or 11 in the high school north or south of the 270 students enrolled in Algebra 2 in the Green City School District. Suppose 2 of those students will be chosen at random to represent the Algebra 2 classes at a local STEM event. Which of the following expressions gives the probability that both chosen students will be from the same grade and the same high school? So if the 2 students both come from North and grade 10, the probability should be equal to 47 times 46 over 270 times 269. If the 2 students both come from grade 10 and South, the probability should be equal to 93 times 93 times 92 over 270 times 269. If the 2 students both come from grade 11 and North, the probability should be equal to 73 times 72 over 270 times 269. If both students come from South and grade 11, the probability should be equal to 57 times 56 over 270 times 269. So question 59 should choose option A. Question 60. A certain company has 120 employees, 85 of whom have business degrees. Of the employees with business degrees, 75 are certified public accountants. There are 14 employees who are not CPAs and also do not hold a business degree. One employee of the company will be selected at random to be interviewed for a television news program. What is the probability that selected employee will be a CPA? So question 60. There are 120 employees. From the first sentence, 85 of whom have business degrees. So 85 have business degrees, which means 35 don't have business degrees. Then the second sentence. Of the employees with business degrees, 75 are certified public accountants. So which means of the 85 employees who have business degrees, 75 are also CPAs, which means 10 of them are not CPAs. Continue. There are 14 employees who are not CPAs and also do not hold a business degree, which means of the 35 employees who don't have business degrees, 14 of them are also not CPAs, which means 21 of them are CPAs. So the question, what is probability that the selected employee will be a CPA? So the probability should be equal to the number of employees who are CPAs divided by the total number of employees. So the number of employees who are CPAs equals 75 plus 21. So the numerator is 75 plus 21, which is 96. The denominator is 120. So question 60, we should choose option J.